AutoVaccinator, also called AutoVac, is an automation feature that allows the vaccinator to change resistances and pop Uber automatically depending on the circumstance. It swaps resistances based on what classes are near the medic and what weapon that class is using. Here you can see that I'm playing Soldier and holding the direct hit, and as I get closer to the medic and his Engineer, the resistance automatically changes from bullet to explosive, and as I back away, it changes back to bullet, skipping fire resistance entirely. If I fire my direct hit from a distance, the resistance automatically changes to explosive and pops Uber just before I hit the medic, and changes back to bullet after my rocket explodes. The same thing happens if I fire at the Engineer. Resistances can also change when the nearest enemy player switches their weapons. Notice how when I switch to my shotgun, the resistance changes almost instantly. This is why AutoVac is essentially impossible to defeat. It changes resistances so quickly that even if you were to overwhelm the cheater with bullets, fire, and explosives, it would still be able to keep up and change resistances. What makes AutoVac even more difficult to counter is the fact that most AutoVac medics are pocketing another cheater, typically a direct hit soldier using projectile aimbot and crit cheats, or a heavy using DT and crits. Some of them might not even be real players. They could just be bots. The best way to recognize an AutoVac medic is to watch how they change resistances, and check their kill-death ratio, or KDR. If you haven't already, go into your advanced options and check Enable Mouse Input on the scoreboard. Not only will this allow you to mute players by right-clicking on them, but clicking on other players will allow you to see their KDR. AutoVac medics and their healing targets rarely die because of how overpowered AutoVac is. If you're being spawn camped by a heavy and a vac med and dying within less than a second of opening the door, check their KDRs. More than likely, they haven't died a single time yet, and the heal target will have a very high kill streak, likely on a very expensive weapon. Also, keep an eye on the medic themselves, if you can. You'll notice that they change resistances with incredible speed, and skip over other resistances entirely. If you look back at my footage, you'll see that the medic never switched to fire resistance, skipping it and going right back to bullet resistance, faster than a human could. AutoVac isn't something you need to detect, but it's something you should be aware of. If you ever see an AutoVac med and his healing target dominating the game, either attempt to call a vote on them or just leave. You won't beat them. I feel that's worth repeating. You will not beat them.